Buttercup. All right, ladies and gentlemen, how the heck are you? Let me know when we are live. Boom. We just look at it. Stephanie says she's curious. Catch Many says, late? We're right on time. In the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, are we live or alive? I'd say alive and live at the same time. It was really interesting news because I got a comment left on one of the videos I did recently about these UAPs that have been spotted over a bunch of different military sites, nuclear sites, swarming flagship aircraft carriers in the UK. I've actually got a list put together that I'm going to share with you about mysterious drones here in a minute. But somebody left a comment in the comment section. And, well, I'm going to show you what they said in a moment. But they said, Rex, these drones that are flying over Trump's golf course, they don't just want to go golfing. There's actually more to the story. And look into the JACKAL drone. Look into the JACKAL drone. So I did, and I found two different JACKAL drones from two different manufacturers, and one of them meets the criteria a bit. Now, it could be something else, but we definitely want to look into this because this is information we have access to, and it would make it very interesting if it was this type of technology that was being used to swarm and recon different military facilities. So we're going to talk about that here in a minute. I do want to give a huge shout out to Orion Metal Exchange. Do yourselves a favor. America, listen up. Are you tired of watching the government gamble with your hard-earned retirement savings? Yeah. Inflation's out of control. The national debt continues to climb. Foreign powers like BRICS and illegal immigration are pushing the US dollar weaker and costs of everyday goods higher. Now, here's the kicker. Trump's first term, gold prices skyrocketed, doubling in value. Yeah, doubled. Now, what if it happens again? Are you and your retirement savings ready to handle what's coming? Nanu. This is why you need Orion Metal Exchange. They are America's highest rated precious metals IRA by Retirement Living and give you more metal for your money. Imagine converting your IRA or 401k into gold and silver, real physical wealth that you can count on no matter what. Don't wait until it's too late. Take control of your future today. Call Orion Metal Exchange now at 1-888-460-4090. Get your free investor's guide. It's packed with information you need to protect your retirement savings. You've worked way too hard to leave your future to chance. Call 1-888-460-4090 now. Orion Metal Exchange is here to help you and secure your wealth and stand strong as a proud conservative American. All right, let's talk about it. Lots of information here, folks. This is like if you would have listened to me 8 years ago when I was talking about gold and silver and precious metals, wow. I mean, I'm just saying. So better late than never, especially right now, better late than never. So there's obviously never any guarantees, but look at what the money funders are doing. Somebody left this really weird comment in the comment section the other day about how come people are selling gold if it's worth so much? First of all, like banks, financial institutions are literally purchasing tons of gold. Governments are purchasing tons of gold. They've been buying gold since ancient Sumer, before Babylon. Okay, I'm just saying. So, let's talk about this. The JACKAL drone. There's two distinct unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, developed for military applications. You have the JACKAL VTOL drone by Flyby Technology, which is what we're looking at here. But before I explain this too much, let me share with you what was left in the comments section on this video that I did yesterday. Just Jim says, if you want to know the truth, the drones are called JACKAL drones. These drones were developed in the UK. They're the size of a small car. These drones are used by the USA and UK governments. They look exactly the same as the ones on the videos. They are currently testing them for surveillance in Ukraine. Now, I can't confirm this. I said, hey, these don't look like the orbs. It is interesting. And I said, thank you. The person responded, you're welcome. And then they give their opinion on what they see going on. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna do some research on this. Let's do some recon. Let's find out what these jackals are all about. Now, I don't know about you, but there's a really cool TV series out right now called The Jackal. And wow, it's good. Like, it's intense. And it's interesting how this TV series comes out, The Jackal, and then just a couple of days, was it yesterday or the day before? That guy that, it seemed like I don't know. Anyway, this guy took out this other guy that was a CEO of some medical company, like big medical organization, insurance organization. And I was like, man, it's weird. The jackal, all this stuff about the jackal is going on right now. So definitely worth looking more into. And Taiwan is actually moving closer to acquiring 160 of these jackal drones. The Taiwanese company Geosat Aerospace and Technology has inked an agreement with the British firm Flyby Technology that paves the way for purchase, technology transfer, and production of 160 Turkish-made jackal drones. So, like, what can it do? What kind of abilities does it have? Well, according to the research that I have done, the Jackal is a modular vertical takeoff and landing VTOL drone designed for versatile combat missions. Its design and capabilities, the Jackal employs 4 sets of twin contra rotating propellers for vertical operations and 4 wing-mounted electric ducted fan engines for forward flight, achieving speeds up to 160 kilometers an hour, which is about 100 miles an hour. A cruising speed of 108 kilometers an hour. It has a wingspan of 5 meters. What is that? 16.5 feet approximately. A payload capacity of 15 kilograms. An operational range of 130 kilometers at altitudes up to 4,000 meters. That means they can launch these things over 12,000 feet elevation. The operational roles, the drone is designed for missions including battlefield, air, interdictation, close air support, engaging helicopters, destroying tanks, denying enemy use of runways and roads. Its VTOL capability allows operation from concealed locations without the need for runways. And you can read about this Air Force Technology. Then goes on to say the armament integration, April 2023, the Jackal successfully fired Thales lightweight multi-role missile, which is an LMM, also known as Martlet, marking a significant advancement in unmanned air combat capabilities. Forces News. Now, this is one of the Jackal type drones, and there's another one. There's another one that, here, I'll show you right now. Where's that? Here we go. Northrop Grumman. This one's even more intense. This is a Jackal high-speed drone that looks more like a missile. Looks very similar to what Kristen and I saw in San Antonio. Actually, we were outside of San Antonio because we were on the highway. We were heading towards Utah. And the highway speeds out there, I think the speed limit's about 80 miles an hour. We were doing about 80 miles an hour. And oh my gosh, literally, this thing comes up next to us, not much higher than us. It's cruising with us for a second. It's totally silent. It goes right in front of the car, and it goes boom, just boom, takes off, totally silent. And Kristen and I are like, what the heck was that? And Kristen thought it was some type of like super rich dude's private jet, you know, like getting in there and flying it around. It was it looked almost identical to this. The wings were a little bit smaller, and I think it was actually some type of test missile. I looked into it. I did some research, and yeah, I can't remember the exact name of the missile, but it looks very similar to this Jackal high-speed drone that's being displayed right here. And this was back in 2014? This was like 10 years ago, folks. On the freaking freeway. Wow. So anyway, and it looked almost identical to this. Now, this specific drone that you're looking at right here is a loitering munition by Northrop Grumman. Introduced by Northrop Grumman, the JACKAL is a high-speed loitering munition designed for rapid response and precision strikes. Design and capabilities powered by a turbojet engine, and JACKAL reaches speeds over 600 kilometers an hour with a range of 100 kilometers and a loiter time of 15 minutes. It features a modular payload capacity up to 4.6 kilograms, accommodating various sensors for surveillance, electronic warfare packages, or warheads for precision strikes. The operational flexibility, the JACKAL can be launched from ground, naval, or air platforms using a tube launch system with deployable wings. Its autonomous control system enables operation in GPS-denied environments with capabilities for pre-programmed waypoint navigation and in-flight retasking. Hello! Wow. Development and testing revealed at the Special Operations Forces Industry Conference, SOFIC, in May 2022. The JACKAL underwent successful test flights in November 2022, with further demonstrations planned to align with U.S. military requirements. Actually, you know what? It might have been like 2015, 2016, around that time frame. Between 2014 and 2016 is when we saw that thing fly. Hang out with us on the freeway, go right in front of us and go, boom, take off. Whoa, silent. Amazing. Both the JACKAL VTOL drone and the JACKAL loitering munition represent significant advancements in unmanned aerial combat technology, offering flexible and rapid response capabilities for modern military operations. Yeah, there you go. This is the Newsweek article that shows the location where these, like the drones are flying over the golf course. They're flying over a munitions center. Go to this here. Here we go. Watch this. Fox News. This is the alleged.
This is a video of the Morris County drones with characteristic triangle lights on the back or underneath.
So, I don't know. It's got a wingspan of 5 meters, like I was saying, and it seems to fit some of the criteria here. Now, it's also interesting to note that it didn't just start in 2014. It didn't just start last year. I mean, there's been sightings for, you can look at some of the Renaissance paintings and it appears that there's orbs or flying saucers projecting beams onto somebody that's praying. And I've heard people say, oh, it's just a representation of a star. It's just a representation of a sun ray. I mean, come on. It's a freaking flying saucer that's shooting a beam onto somebody that's praying. So I don't think it's starlight, but I could be wrong. I'm just saying. So whatever. Where was I going with this? Oh my gosh. I just got hit with some major swamp gas. Back off. Yeah, I don't remember. Whatever. Let's look. Okay. Oh, yeah. Now I remember. It's high elevation, folks. We're at high elevation in southern Colorado. It's the Rocky Mountain High. All right. So let's go back to a list. I've got a list here from 2014 of unidentified drones observed over nuclear power plants or military facilities. In 2014, France has a nuclear facility. Over a dozen unidentified drones were observed flying over French nuclear power plants, prompting investigations by authorities. That was the Associated Press. Sweden's nuclear power stations in 2022. Drones were sighted over key Swedish sites, including nuclear plants, leading the security service to initiate the investigation. Associated Press. U.S. nuclear sites. The U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission has noted an increase in drone sightings over nuclear power plants, coordinating with federal agencies to address potential security risks. That's the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. U.S. aircraft carriers. In 2019, the U.S. Navy personnel recorded videos of UAPs near aircraft carriers USS Nimitz and USS Theodore Roosevelt. These incidents involve objects displaying unusual flight characteristics, sparking extensive media coverage and official investigations, which they're still feeding as swamp gas. Like the latest is the best. They're like, yes, we analyzed the footage of the what appears to be fast flying drone, and it's just we use trigonometry and it's not moving that fast. So, sorry. Like, oh, okay, you're right. I don't know trigonometry, so you must be right. You did the math, and like they don't give you details. They're just like, yeah, we based on trigonometry, it's not going that fast. That's all they say. It's like, oh, okay. That's clearly, yeah, it's a reflection. Venus is really intense right now. The U.S. aircraft carriers, I went over that. The U.K. military bases, this just happened. 3 different RAF sites. RAF Mildenhall, RAF Feltwell, RAF Lakenheath, Royal Air Force bases that house U.S. Air Force operations. The sightings raised concerns about potential espionage or security threats. You've also got the HMS Queen Elizabeth. An unidentified drone reportedly followed the UK's aircraft carrier HMS Queen Elizabeth as it entered the port of Hamburg. The German military attempted to neutralize the drone, but it evaded capture. Clearly not a hobby drone. Clearly not something you can go buy at Walmart or at the local drone shop. And these incidents underscore the challenges in identifying and mitigating unauthorized drone and UAP activities. Oh, yeah, really? Duh. So you can read about this, Associated Press, Scottish Sun, the New York Post. There's a plethora of articles, but it's getting more intense. And it's about that time. I had an amazing interview yesterday that's uploaded on Patreon. It's an exclusive on Patreon right now. I had a great conversation with Jordan, and there's a film out that just came out. Darcy Weir's the producer. It's called The Dark Alliance, and it talks about like UFO cults. And yeah, you definitely want to go listen to that because we went deep. And here's the thing, folks. You've got most people are usually compartmentalized. They'll say one or the other, but it can never be both. It's always got to be one or the other. And I think that's part of our genetics and our upbringing. But there could very well be foreign adversaries launching drones. There could very well be defense contractors testing new equipment. There could be some type of psychological operations going on in attempts to create this fear-based mindset so we can get more funding, create more bills, more laws, more rules, more regulation, more control, things that he called like a limited hangout, control the narrative kind of stuff. And clearly the pilot could see something that looks like a UFO and he doesn't know anything about it, so he's going to tell the media, and then the media is going to run with it. And I think that we've kind of debunked previous, I don't want to say debunked, but we've opened the door to a very real possibility that some of these previous abductions where people were abducted by something, but it wasn't an alien, and maybe it was done specifically because they knew that that person would write a book, and that book would become a part of the archetype, like just the psyche of humanity. And that book would talk about aliens in a specific way because they created this abduction experience a certain way, to where they would describe it as such. But then that doesn't take away that there's a very real possibility people have been abducted by non-human intelligence. But if you've got a cleanup crew that's muddying the waters, and if you're promoting the stuff that was not alien and suppressing the stuff that possibly was, it's a great way to control the narrative. The universe is a very big place. To think that we are the only consciousness that can develop technologies that we see in front of us and this entire galaxy is pretty narcissistic, in my opinion, and also quite ignorant. But that's okay, because it seems to run hand in hand with certain things sometimes. And I'm just saying, it's pretty fascinating, folks. So how do we know, like Jordan and I were talking, like how do we really know if these mystery drones that are flying over military sites, how do we know that they're not some type of special operation psychological warfare project? How do we not know that they're foreign adversaries? Like, how long are they? You know what? I'm answering my own question as I'm asking these questions. I'm like, how long are they going to do this? Forever. When are they going to tell us the truth? Never. When are they going to muddy the waters more? When they need to, because they want to play wag the dog. I mean, I've seen it for so long. It's been going on for so long. And right now we are in a world that is so polarized, so divided, that people get into fights and arguments over the most ridiculous things. The person that's going into power in January, like, half the world thinks he's Jesus and the other half the world thinks he's the devil. It's so weird. Like, these tactics have been being used for at least 70 years on so many different levels. And now it seems like they've refined it so much that people are just on edge all the time that it's either going to be the end of the world tomorrow or else everybody's going to ascend into the fifth dimension. And I think we got to use some discernment. I think we got to use some clarity here. We got to have an open mind, because the brain doesn't open unless it works. It's like a parachute. But if it's so open, the brain falls out on the sidewalk and then everybody steps on it, and it's not going to work that way. So, like, where's your head at? Where's your head at? That's a cool song. It's the modern sorcerers are the modern marketers. Like, I was looking at a product the other day that was claiming to be C60. And I read the back and the label on the back. It's like, derived from burnt wood chips. We pack the burnt wood chips in the pills. And first they brag about what the C60 molecule is. And then they're like, look at how cheap it is. I can go out and buy this stuff. It's only like $20 for 6 months worth of pills. It's wood chips. It's marketing. And they do that not just with products that they sell you, but with, I mean, it's everywhere, folks. The alternative media is turned into, like, why do most people get out of the mainstream media? Why do most people turn off Fox and CNN and MSNBC? Because it's the same narrative constantly. It's very biased. It's pushing to get people to watch that have a certain mindset, and it's feeding them fear, getting them to stay by the television and watch, right? And people kind of get sick of that. They're like, oh, I'm going to go look for something else. I'm going to go look for something new. So they go out into the alternative realms and they start reading stuff that resonates with them, that has a little bit of truth. And then they get hoodwinked in the alternative realms. And then they get tricked and fooled. And they're like, oh, Jesus is coming tomorrow. He's going to save us. Oh, Planet X is coming the day after that. So I'm glad Jesus is coming tomorrow. Oh, man. Like, look. I've been wrong so many times. Like, and I'm okay with that. But I don't give absolutes. I have theories. I have ideas. We think tank here, you know, live action role play kind of stuff. I've never said without a shadow of a doubt something's going to happen. I've said, I think this is going to happen. This is probably going to happen. You go back and look at, so go back to my Patreon page and look at the 30 predictions that I made for 2024. I made it at the end of last year in December 2023. I made 33 predictions just to make it, you know, Illuminatius. But I did 30 first and then I did a few after that. But the 30 predictions that I made, you can see the timestamp on it. They're very detailed, and they're forecasts. It's not like it's a prophecy. They're just forecasts. Over half of them have happened already. Now think about that. Not very vague, like, you know, Nostradamus type prophecy kind of stuff. I'm talking detailed, what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, boom. So why am I bringing this up? I don't know. I guess I'm tooting my own horn. The reason I'm bringing this up is oftentimes when we think tank and we come up with ideas and stuff like that, we're not giving absolutes, but things come to pass. The problem is when you have people out there that are making these huge claims with no evidence as absolute fact. I'll give you a prime example. Whoa! Shaman Hughes, thank you so much. Thank you very much for that super chat. Much appreciated. I just saw that. I'm like over here in the zone, and then all of a sudden I see the super chat. I'm like, boom! Thank you very much. And now I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Billy Meyer. I interviewed a guy back in the day when I first started doing Leak Project podcasts, and I was saying, hey, I'm going to interview everybody that wants to come on the show. And that didn't last very long because I had people coming on the show that were talking about the clouds being alien food and living beings. And I'm like, dude, I am not going to post that. They're like, well, you said you were going to interview everybody. I'm like, yeah, but the clouds aren't alien food, and they're not like people like you think. Well, you think it's all about you? I'm like, yeah, but you're going to make people crazy. If like people are already on edge enough, right? We don't need people coming out being like, dude, the clouds are alien food and Planet X is going to show up tomorrow. No, it's not. No, it's not. I had this guy that's this alleged expert on Planet X, and he was like, dude, you can see it's there in perihelion. I'm like, it's the freaking moon, you moron. It's a reflection of the moon. You got 50,000 people following you. Now they're freaking out that that's Planet X and it's the reflection of the moon, you moron. Come on, man. How do you sleep at night? Look, anyway, like I get the entertainment side of things, but it gets to the point where you do this enough and you realize like people are genuinely looking for the truth. And you don't want to be that guy feeding them nonsense. You don't want to be that guy that, how about that gal that thought Planet X was going to show up in 2000, so she had her dog put down? You don't want to be her. She thought she was talking to Zetas. And oh, Planet X is going to show up, so she got so freaked out, she put her dog down. Yeah. You do not want to be that person. So that's why I'm as passionate about this stuff sometimes. That's why I get passionate about this stuff. Because I see how powerful information is. And I see how people will take the wrong information and they'll go all berserker with it. So, like, first of all, remain calm. You do not need to bring in your tomato plants yet. You can still go spend $12 for a latte and a tip at $12. And I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you can. I'm just saying, like, we're still here. It's okay. The end of the world isn't going to be tomorrow. Like, people that are usually very level-headed and down-to-earth and very kind, loving, respectful people that still are, but they're freaked out. Like, they think that because of what's happening with this transition of power, they think that, like, their world's going to end and, like, everything's going to stop and their retirement's going to disappear and that Social Security is going to go away and that, like, it's like, no, it's probably going to be very similar in 4 years to what it is now. Yeah, things might be better in some ways. Things might be worse in some ways. But I do not see this complete change of the world in 4 years. I'm just saying, I think we're going to be okay, everybody. Like, especially if we think good thoughts, right? Like focus good thoughts. That the MFers, the money funders, they know about our thoughts and they know that we're co-creators with the divine. And that if they get us all to think bad thoughts and focus on negative things, there's a much better chance that's going to happen. So let's focus on the positive. Let's focus on being the change. Let's focus on like taking a chill pill. Go out, ride your bike. Go out and do what you love to do. Take a hike. Get out. Go into nature for a little bit if you're in the city. If you're in nature and you want to go to the city, go take a vacation in the city. You can't afford it? I don't know what to tell you there, man. I guess we'll have to figure out a way to get you some more income. Let's work on some more income streams. Gabriella, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to be able to go out and buy an overpriced coffee. I mean, there's so many opportunities right now, especially right now, especially you can access the entire world from your phone. I'm helping people right now do podcasts that are doing what they love to do. And like, they're literally turning their passion into a way to make money. And you can do it too. All you got to do is just kind of like tell yourself you're going to do it. And then you have to stick with it. You can't like try it once and then give up. You got to stick with it for a while. What is it? Like the 40-day, you got to do something for 40 days in order to make it a habit or something like that. I've heard different things, but anyway, we're off on a whole philosophical mindset here. We started off on UAPs and now we're talking about, being the change you want to see. So I think that about sums it up for today. Unless you have any questions you would like to ask or any comments you'd like to make. I love reading the comments. I love you guys and gals. I think you're so awesome. Like really, I really appreciate you. You don't know how amazing it's been to meet so many cool people over the years doing this. Oh, hey, Jim. Jim's in the house. Yeah, the cloud people, that guy was something else. And then I remember I did an interview one time with this gal, and this gal is like, she's been interviewed by a bunch of people. I'm not saying names. This person's like, yeah, I worked at NASA. I worked for the defense contract. I did. She's like saying all these, I worked there. I did this. I developed this software for NASA. I did this and that. And I listened to her for 3 hours. I couldn't take it anymore. And I was like, I said, where's any proof about what you're talking about? How do I know? It's just obvious. That was her proof. It's just obvious. I was like, yeah, it's just obvious. Click. Or the guy that said the moon was a petrified tendon ball. I guess I should upload that video just for giggles, because people got mad that I didn't upload a video I did with the guy that claims that like the moon is a petrified tendon ball, and that a river that you can, there's this river in Africa that's allegedly like a 3,000 mile long dead dragon, and that's the remains of the dragon. He's like, you could clearly see it. I have the evidence. But I asked the person about the evidence, and that person doesn't even know what his evidence is. I said, well, you've got that paper that was brought back that said you sent in a rock, and they came back and said there was human DNA on it, right? And I was like, well, you know, if you touch that rock, it's going to have your human DNA on it, right? And I was like, well, do you know what the actual document means? Or do you just say you have the evidence because you have a document that said there's human DNA on a rock that you sent in? And he's like, well, I don't really know what it means. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. You don't know what it means. So how are you going to use that as evidence? But you know that anyway, I'm just saying, that's the world we live in, folks. We're pretty lucky. I'm happy the world's as good as it is right now. I'm happy that I think the world's in pretty good shape. I mean, those are the kind of people out there, folks, that have millions of followers. And then they'll call you like a shill because you don't believe that the African river is a giant dead carcass of a dragon that's 3,000 miles long. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. We're doing pretty good. I think we're doing pretty good. I'm optimistic. I mean, if the world runs as good as it does with people as crazy as that, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I'm okay with it. Now, I think we can make some improvements. We can definitely, and like, what's up with the Make America Healthy Again? And then you show everybody eating McDonald's. Come on, man. That's not a good look. I hope it's a joke, but it looked like a corporate sponsor. But I'll tell you, RFK did not look happy eating that. He was like, are you really taking a picture of me holding this McDonald's right now and you're going to post this? Are you serious? And they're like, yeah, man, come on. It's going to be fun. It's just a Big Mac. We'll make America healthy tomorrow. I don't know. I was kind of sad to see that. But anyway. Whatever. You could tell by the look on his face he did not want to eat that McDonald's. I'm just saying. Hey, and you know what? Like, as far as what I was saying a minute ago about the guy that, Charlie, you are awesome. Maintain calm and serenity in the face of turmoil and chaos. I think that's beautiful. Right on, brother. Thank you so much. As I'm over here going all crazy. And if I'm having fun, though, we're having fun. That person that's making those claims, like, I know there's a lot of people out there that love him. And look, man, like, if you truly believe that, like, if that's what you truly believe, and if you're not going to hear any other data or evidence or anything else, and that's just where you're at, hey, look, it's cool. But don't come trolling me because I'm not going to upload a video of you saying that the moon is a giant tendon ball that's petrified in space, okay? I mean, we're cool, but we're not that cool. So, yeah, I'm just saying. And on that note, I could be wrong about half the stuff that I say still to this day. And if I am, I'll be the first to admit it. So it's okay because it's not absolute. But you know what is absolute? You're awesome. And I hope that you have a very fantastic day and a beautiful day. And keep being the change the world needs to see because it starts with you. And I'm just venting. Nanny.